Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club. People hate reading. This week is special. We did the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, and we bring you Season 1, Episode 1 of...
American Gods.
And this week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
Hello.
and Ryan Preston. The normal scheduled rotation will be starting again next week, so it'll be Ryan's pick. James's pick.
Oh, cool.
And pointing at me, dude.
And so here's a description of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Set in the backdrop of an awesome mixtape number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 continues the team's adventures as they unravel the mystery of Peter Quill's true parentage.
You know, I do got to say, though, I really enjoy the mixtapes in these films.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's a hidden gem.
That's the through line that I think, holds it all together.
Yeah.
I love these types of movies when it's like after the getting to know each other sort of part of the first one, we kind of jump into the business as usual side of what they've been doing the last, whatever months or years,
I was really reticent about this because usual, these movies suffer from sequel syndrome. If you take a look at any of the Marvel movies, they do. Or they get so bogged down in little minutiae that doesn't really matter, but Marvel wants you to really care about it.
Can we just forget about the Logan series and move on from that? Let's just forget.
This one has such a unique heart, though, that it transcends the sort of usual tropes that you would find in a sequelitis kind of movie.
No,
Yeah,
that's for me. This is a strong 4 out of 5. It's not quite a 5, but I loved the movie. There really wasn't anything that I hated about it. I just can't give it a 5. So it's a 4.5 from me.
All right.
James?
I'm going to join with you on that one. The one character that really is getting on my nerves a little bit is Gamora. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the actress or just the role. I'm not a fan of her character.
It's got to be the character.
Everyone
the actor.
else I really love. I love Chris Pratt. I love Batista. Batista's a hidden gem in these films.
Dude, Batista is the diamond in the WWE rough, man.
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
who would
I
have thought a
agree.
guy whose career was taking chair shots is this actual funny?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
you see guys like The Rock, and you figure that's like a 1 in a billion kind of a guy, just the most charismatic dude you've ever seen. But then Batista just kind of comes out of nowhere and has this like immediate lovable ability.
I mean, you're beautiful.
You did not see that
on
coming.
the inside.
And
You're ugly on the outside. I love that.
In all honesty, I think.
Okay.
So what do you give it, Ryan? I don't want to.
Well, I was gonna say I jump along with a 4.
4.5.
Yeah, I'm up there with a 4 and a 5 just because I feel like being different. But there's such a strong cast of characters that and the writing is just so pitch perfect with every character, and I think we're sort of meant to be kind of, I don't know about annoyed, but like notice the contrast of how Gamora deals with stuff.
Well, yeah, and I mean I understand that, but I really gave no shit about her sister storyline in this film.
Well,
I really did.
Okay, I'll tell you what. That was the weakest part of the first one, and here's the funny thing: as much as I love Karen Gillan, I think it was a performance thing, going a little bit almost over the top in a more serious way. I don't know how to describe it. It seemed a little on the wrong side of the campy that they were going for.
It did seem to me at the time, and it definitely does more now, that they're playing catch up. Like they just kind of threw the two together, Gamora and Nebula, without really enough backstory. So I'm kind of thinking this was them going, okay, here's the plot. This is what happened. Here's a little more information. Like when I thought the scene when they were fighting, I thought was cool when they talked about our father ripped my brain out of my skull and threw me in this body. I
kind of get that. But,
I liked that part of it, but you're right. It was definitely weak. But I also thought the thing with Rocket too was kind of.
You mean with Michael Rooker, Yondu, and Rocket?
Well, I thought Rocket and Yondu were actually the best part.
I was going to say. I meant
the part that that, was it Rocket stole this and he's doing this and he's doing that. It's like, I get the point, but to me it was kind of, it's a little weak. How about a little bit more besides you have a trash panda?
I that was great. Trash panda.
I agree. It's worse.
I loved it. I actually liked it though because it shows like something that you almost don't see too often because they fail to realize, when you have these characters that have been around for so long, like your Lethal Weapons, and they've supposedly known each other for years by this point, that the relationship, they're still asking each other questions like, dude, you should know that kind of and this seemed like more of like a deep seated kind of like sort of just now coming to the surface part of their relationship.
Okay.
Between him and Quill and the way he's acting out lately, like the dynamic was good for a while, and now it's kind of gotten weird or something.
Okay.
I'll agree with that.
I see that.
And Michael Rooker is still my favorite character in this. Like, I liked him in the first one,
good.
But the second one, this is when
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
By the way, there's a bunch of memes on Facebook that people have added them in.
There's a ton of memes.
Allegedly, Disney's going to actually put a guest spot of him in Mary Poppins.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if it's going to be Yondu. It totally should be.
I gotta say, with Michael Rooker, I mean, like, the first one when they brought him in this one, it kind of seemed a little bit of a cliche character for him coming off the back of what he did in The Walking Dead. This one, it like transcended that. I was so happy to see him go beyond that. I mean, it is kind of still a cookie cutter character. He played a racist guy on The Walking Dead. I know John hasn't watched it. Ryan knows what I'm talking about.
I wouldn't say a cliche. I think it went
for him is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Because I think it went from a character that was decently original in The Walking Dead to a character that was campy, was on the verge of being, A equals B type of thing.
Yeah. But I think in this one, like, he developed a whole nother side of this character, and I think he did a fantastic job.
Because you gave you gave him a chance.
Hell yeah, but that's actually what's kind of crazy about how good this movie was is that every character that they went that level deeper seemed very perfect for that character. Like everything, like I said, was just written so true to who those characters are, that the arcs were all just really good.
I do have one question. What's up with DC and Marvel both having living talking planets?
I don't know.
DC has a Green Ranger.
Yeah.
What the hell is it called?
It's
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern has a planet that's a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Talking about Oa?
No. There's another one. I don't think is Oa the living planet?
I know that's where the council is.
There's a planet that is a Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's actually.
Oh, that's right. The actual Green Lantern
planet,
part of the core. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then you have, I can never Ego.
Yeah.
I actually
Kurt Russell.
I actually thought Kurt Russell's character was honestly the weakest part of this movie. He made kind of a good bad guy, but I didn't care about him. I didn't hate him. I just thought, okay, he's an egotistical planet. It's kind of,
his character reminded me of Battlefield Earth with John Travolta's bad guy character.
Except there's not humans who haven't touched.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Though I mean, the way he played the character kind of reminded me of John Travolta in Battlefield Earth.
There were no
a little bit, but also
a little bit. Go watch Battlefield Earth again.
Do I have to?
Yeah, dude, Battlefield Earth took itself the most serious that they were like, this is going to be the ultimate sci-fi.
Yeah.
I have to admit, that was the one movie that I always wanted to watch stoned, because I figured maybe if it was stoned, I would actually get it.
Well, I mean, John's favorite Smurfs on Shrooms Avatar, that was closer to what Battlefield Earth tried to be.
What do you mean favorites? I haven't even seen the whole thing.
Have you taken shrooms and watched it?
But
no.
Okay, listen.
What? Ryan, have you?
Look, you might like it.
Anyways, I'd have to think about it. But okay, listen. Here's my point. When you have the plot sort of that this guy who's named Ego has a planet named Ego and is taking over the world with his sort of physical ego. When you play it that heavy-handed, I can almost forgive a little bit of the kind of goofiness or weirdness of his character.
Yeah, I mean, he did show everybody how the Blob was made. I actually thought that part of it was at least decently creative. To me, what his whole plan was really seemed kind of, okay, what are we going to have Kurt Russell do? I know. How about this? And then they kind of formed a story around it.
Well,
But
no, I think. Hold on. I think that they absolutely knew that there was going to be a. Because I have to assume that this is canon. That Peter Quill is was the God part. And that was part of the storyline. So then it's just a matter of, who are we going to cast for his father? I think that was more of the thinking.
well, it's
And then
definitely
it's like, dude, it'd be great if we can get Kurt Russell.
it's definitely the modern
All right.
canon. I don't think it's the historical canon, but comic books
Is there a
change so
fucking
much.
historical canon of
There's-
Guardians? How
there's gotta
goddamn
be.
old is that thing?
Well, so
It can't be 20 years old.
I actually watched something about this. If I actually remembered, I'd tell you the name of the YouTube show. But it talked about how it was from the 30s or 40s, and some of the people in this movie were actually the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, the Guardians of the Galaxy is from the 30s or 40s?
It was 40s, 50s, something like that. It's actually from
Shut
that.
the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't remember. If I remembered, it was like 40s or 50s. It was old enough that made me go, whoa.
Well, that's wildly trippy. I didn't. That's bizarre, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
wouldn't think it
that's-
was that old. Huh. I mean,
It
but
just seemed like such a contemporary type of story. I don't
yeah.
know.
It probably is like, I'd say it's probably just like, I'm forgetting that Kung Fu movie TV show the Netflix just came out.
Iron Fist?
Yeah, it's probably like Iron Fist. It's another one of these things that really kind of lost its relevancy up until kind of the modern era. Because
1969,
All right.
I think.
Yeah,
The year that they came
1969.
out with the 69.
see, I thought it was older
Name
than
that movie.
I
I guess
think that's just the year that they named it.
But I think what it was is it's probably one of these comic books that in its day and a while after it had some relevancy, but like Iron Fist and the other ones, they just lost their relevancy and went away.
It definitely makes more sense that this thing would have came out of like the late 60s. Into like a civil rights movement kind of an era.
I gotta
So,
say though,
yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't try to do a movie like this, like they did of the Flash, and Doctor
yeah, I know.
Strange, because we actually do have the technology to actually make the comic book pages look more realistic than what they would have done with a lot of phallic symbols.
But I still really enjoyed this movie. And honestly, I like Kurt Russell. I think this is the first re-Disney movie he's done in 15 years. He's actually a golden. He's actually a golden
Sky
Disney
High.
boy. His
He did Sky
his
High.
career kind of started with Disney. Matter of fact, Walt Disney's last word was actually Kurt Russell.
It was a curse. But
No, seriously. They said the last thing Disney ever said or wrote was Kurt Russell, and nobody to this day has any idea why.
because he
hell?
stole his soul. Anyway, why are we all like not talking about Vin Diesel? This is probably his best role ever.
This
I
is
was totally
true.
blown away. I think he did a fantastic job.
But
Yeah,
like,
I think it's the most
he
fun
looked
that I've
great.
ever had watching him on screen.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm trying to think if there's any Vin Diesel movie. Pitch Black is probably
Yeah.
his Riddick characters minus the last Riddick movie because I thought it sucked.
Oh, it was terrible. Well, so was there was some really weird shit in the second one.
At least
yeah.
I liked the second one. It was entertaining.
I liked it too, but man, they went they went a little Battlefield Earth on that one.
A little.
Is
come
that
on.
our new curse word?
Come on.
Past us boot?
He was.
Well, when it comes to sci-fi, taking it that direction with just like oh man, you guys got the rubber suits on and everything.
Come on. He was the Furian savior, and nobody's to this date is like, what the fuck?
Teacup.
By the way, that's one of my favorite lines. Along with Death by Teacup is I'll be your Huckleberry.
I prefer Are You Gonna Bark All Day, Little Doggy, or You Gonna Bite?
Okay, I'll give you that one too. I still stick with a 4.5. This was a great movie to watch. Matter of fact, they're making fun of little things like a guy's name, Taserface.
Yeah.
That whole bit about I can't believe you wake up in the morning and you go Taserface.
Yeah, they're gonna call me Taserface.
God,
Tell Taserface I said hi.
this the whole movie, and even the continue the bit about Rocket wanting to mess with somebody, like when Groot stole the guy's eyes. Like, no, don't leave it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I just 4.5 out of 5. It's just such a great, entertaining movie. I would say, however, this was not a kids movie. When I saw it in theaters, there was a kid in it. I would say you'd have to be like 13 or older, and this child looked a little younger than that.
You don't have to be. Look, every one of us was watching rated R movies when we were like 9.
Oh no,
Okay,
I saw Cool World in theater. That's
Yeah, his
That's-
parents
that's
took him to watch
disturbing.
Howard the Duck too.
so.
that's both of those are just bad parenting. I
No,
just gotta
Howard
say
the
that.
Duck I didn't see in theater, but
Alright.
but I would say there are parts. Most of this movie I would say is child friendly. There are a couple of scenes that I would say
Well,
are
I mean,
parental
you were
discretion.
Look,
nostalgic by seeing Howard the Duck?
child friendly. Oh yeah, shout out to Seth Rogen, good cameo.
Yep. And I was surprised at how many lines Mr. Stan Lee had. That's like
Oh,
the most
yeah.
he's ever talked in any of them combined.
By the way, did you get who he was talking to?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
God, really?
Believe it or not a lot of people got who he was talking to.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan, did you get who he was talking to?
No, apparently I wasn't paying attention.
He was talking to the Watchers.
Yeah. You didn't know?
Okay,
What? Yeah.
So
How did you not know that?
So what do you give this? What did you give your rating?
Yeah, I'm giving it a solid 4. I think both of these deserve a solid 4. I mean, I think there's enough that, I mean, like, I would like to see them push it to where they do a 5, but I don't think it deserves a full 5. But yeah, it's a strong 4.
Ryan?
I mean definitely 4.5. I mean I providing that I gave the first one a 5 because that was such a perfect movie.
I don't remember what I gave it. I think I gave it a 5 too. I don't
If
remember.
if I didn't, we can just retroactively update that. But
Yeah.
but no, I mean what a friggin' fun movie, man. I mean not a wrong bone in his body, you know.
Oh, they did piss off Microsoft though by putting the
With what?
Zune. They put the Zune in, and the Zune hasn't been around in a long
right.
time.
But
Microsoft.
that was great. That was such a perfect little moment, dude. Okay, hold on. First of all, two things. One, when you start a movie, the opening line is "All right, a-holes."
Yeah.
I am already so much a fan. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm probably biased on that 0.5, but when the look that he gave when he said, "I'm gonna make so much weird shit," and then he ends up actually making Pac-Man at the
Yeah.
end there, I fucking almost pissed myself.
Yeah,
That was the
dude.
funnest thing in the world.
and
I would do the same thing as him. Like, dude, I'm going to make so much random shit
And-
you're not even going
and-
to know.
And the look on his face was basically the thoughts that we had all had as like kids or something.
Like, we are
just
gonna-
like, I know that look. I recognize that look.
Yeah.
Of, oh no, I just
I
thought
mean,
of all the things I could do.
I will have to say my soft side, one of my favorite parts was the end of it when he gave the part of the earbud to Groot. I love that.
I know, right?
I was like, oh, it's like crap. That's my like inner soft side. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a Facebook page. Is there a movie you'd like us to do, or is there maybe some movie news you're interested in us talking about? The other thing is,
Sure.
you can catch Real Flix reviews on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and more. So this week's TV series was
American Gods. Now, I saw just like a little preview of this like 2 weeks before it came out, and I'm like, I got to watch this. I really do. And the biggest reason was I saw Ian McShane in there, and I've got a soft spot for that guy. But I mean, like,
Can't say that about Ryan.
first 10 minutes of this show, how epic was that Viking scene?
Okay. Let me actually.
That was so much fun to watch.
Okay, to a certain extent, it almost rubbed me the wrong way until
with
I
the
started
CG
becoming-
blood, we know how much you love CG blood.
Well, man, dude, because it's used when it doesn't need to be. You know what I mean?
But the
this
freaking
one,
arm with the sword that stabbed the dude in the neck.
well, that's
Come
my
on.
point. I mean, is for one, when I start a new show, when I'm watching a movie, the first thing I'm looking for is to establish the rules of the universe that I'm in.
Oh,
You know.
they established
So
the rule. There
now
are no
I'm-
rules.
Now here's the thing: is I knew nothing about this show. I think I might have saw like a bus ad or something like that with just a photo of some weird guy's face, and so I didn't really know anything about it. So I'm watching it, but And so that thing was like, okay, what kind of show is this? Is this like a bastard executioner thing that I'm gonna fucking hate? But
No, it's
then
kind of
all
like
of a
it reminds me
sudden,
of Preacher.
and then that's what it started to remind me of exactly. So I
Preacher.
started to becoming really wrapped up in the narrative.
Oh, that one.
And then I saw my boy Ian McShane and almost stood up and cheered. But I was by myself and I figured that'd be weird.
Oh, how awesome was he playing that character though? The old senile man.
Oh, dude! And then when he turned on it,
Yep.
it was just like, oh, I'm gonna like this show.
I gotta say though that you can't really go in predicting what the fuck this thing's about.
You can't go in predicting what I'm gonna pick for a TV show.
Well, because you're watching this. Okay, it's a Viking. Okay, cool. Then all of a sudden, this guy's having like who's hallucinating. Then some old dude keeps popping up. One on the airplane. The dude's taking a leak. And then he knocks some dude out in a bar that has a giant alligator.
He hasn't finished this whole thing, no,
He has now.
I knew I was gonna like this show as soon as the Vikings hit the beach and got feathered with arrows. That was epic. I'm
It
like,
was
dude,
epic.
this is so random of a show. I'm gonna love this.
I gotta say, it finally explains that GIF I've been seeing around the internet. There's like internet reaction GIFs, and my girl, like I gave my girlfriend this. This was her reaction. The guy gets shot with a bunch of arrows. It finally explains where the hell that came from.
And you know what? You know what my reaction was? I'm just like, well, wait a second. After the first arrow hit, you would just fall over, and then the rest of the arrows just fall into the sand. You wouldn't just keep standing there.
It reminds me of a lot of Hero, actually.
I love the fact that you try to like take it so literally. See, I don't take
Well,
things
that's
like
the
that
thing
literally. I'm like, how screwed
I'm-
up can we make this?
I'm 3 minutes into this show, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out what the rules are, and that's just where my brain goes. Okay.
And then you see an arm flying through the battle
Well,
scene,
yeah, and then
like,
so I'm thinking we're in some sort of fantasy thing, and then cut to a fucking prison. So I'm like, oh, this thing's all over. I like it already.
By the way, I really want to find just a scene of his arm flying off and just, splice in.
Oh, you probably could. I mean, you probably could do that. It's got to
But,
be somewhere.
there's been a lot of clamor around this show, though. Like, now that I've kind of started paying attention to it a little bit.
Oh, there's people that hate it. There's people that love it. There's people that are like Ryan, trying to make sense out of the universe.
See, the thing I don't get is hating it, because honestly, they don't really, unlike a lot of TV shows nowadays, they don't blow their load. They don't explain shit.
No,
in this
I
universe.
appreciate the fact they're not explaining anything.
And I don't like when people say with stuff like this, automatically they don't like it. You know what I mean? That's coming home, with a new girlfriend, and your parents are like, I don't like her, and you're like, you don't even know her.
Yeah.
I can see not if. Like, I'd say generally this isn't kind of the thing I'm super into,
hold
but
on.
I wouldn't say I hate it. I'd say, I don't quite get it, not my thing, but I'll watch the next episode. Generally, I'll watch the first or second,
hold
couple
on.
episodes.
I'm going to jump back because I totally ripped The Librarians a new one last week. A show like that, The Librarians.
I know.
You guys don't watch it. Anyway, a show like that, like, I can tell you right off the bat whether or not I'm going to like it at all. And I can tell you right off the bat if it's worth me taking another watch of this show. This one, like we've said, it doesn't tell you anything.
It's not a Gotham.
Like, I've finished the entire episode. Ryan hasn't. John has. They don't explain anything. They give you hints, but they don't tell you what's going on. They haven't even told you what happened to the Vikings on the beach. And that was like 7 minutes of the episode. And then they took it to a whole different thing. You have no idea what's going on.
What channel is this on? I don't remember.
This is on Stars Network,
Okay.
yeah. So it's nice that they're trying to compete.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now that Ian McShane, over the years, I mean, that
Big
dude has
choice.
had.
That's a fantastic choice.
He's got such an eye, I think, for. I think he's only doing stuff like this. And the last thing we saw him in was Game of Thrones.
The first thing I saw
episodes.
him in was a TV show called David, which was an HBO kind of spin-off. It was very liberal telling of the story of David in the Bible.
I think we actually
We did an
that
episode of it. We did do one episode of it.
Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah.
So I mean, I've seen him do some very drastic roles, and he's handled them very well in all of
Yeah,
them.
but he is a brilliant actor,
Yeah.
and I think takes roles that are just that
That are
good.
worth his time.
I
Yeah.
will say, I think one of the reasons the storytelling is better on this, because it's not from one of the alphabet networks, where if you take a look at anything the alphabet networks do, they do kind of what they normally do. They want people to watch it. So they blow their load at one thing, and you're like, okay, I can guess the entire freaking first season, possibly part of the second.
Biggest example is Gotham.
Yeah. So I do appreciate storytelling. The fact that you still like, I can probably tell you what it's about. I have a great idea, but it's not confirmed. I love that storytelling that it actually makes you think a little bit, not too much, because I kind of guessed what some
Yeah,
of it.
but but a network also like Stars, they're kind of playing catch up when it comes to the HBOs and the Showtimes of the world. Showtime's getting killer shit like Homeland, and HBO's been killing it since freaking Sopranos.
Yeah.
And really Stars. I mean, let's see, that was Spartacus, which
The first season was worth.
what else was on
maybe?
Stars?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue this conversation on Real Flix Reviews movie news, possibly. This week's pick is
Oh yeah, we are going away over time.
James's pick. So, James, you're up.
I'm actually wondering. I think I had a TV show too. So I am gonna jump into a genre that we have not touched. I'm gonna do some kind of crappy '90s movies, and I'm gonna be picking House Party.
Nice.
So that's what I'm
Kid
gonna
in
go
Play.
with. I actually don't have a TV show right off the top of my head. Oh, I did have one. Damn it, I don't remember what it was. 1 second, I'm actually gonna pull up real quick. I think I did have it.
This is fascinating watching.
Right? This
Are
make
you
or
watching?
great listening.
Damn it! Why does this?
I hope
stupid
I hope the volume.
You're really getting the drive time.
I know
that much
exactly what it
easier.
was. Okay, we're gonna be doing something that we also haven't done on this show. We are gonna be doing kind of a reality TV show. We're gonna be doing the Ultimate Beastmaster, which
Okay.
is a Netflix original. It's put out by Sylvester Stallone. It is his competition things. We're gonna be doing.
It's
It's
basically
basically Netflix version of Ninja Warrior.
Yes, it is,
Bingo.
and we're gonna be doing season 1, episode 7, called Beast Mode. So
Now here's an interesting thing about that particular show. It was simulcast in like 9 different countries, in
Yes.
9 different languages or something. And
Yeah.
there's actually a Netflix version of each of those places. Actually, it wasn't like
Yeah.
9; it was like 5 or something.
yeah, but they did in different countries, and they actually do have all of them on Netflix. But we're gonna be doing the American version that they did,
Right.
And
But
we're
hey,
doing
if you're
season
from
1, episode 7.
Brazil, if you're from Brazil or Germany or Mexico, or there's another one that I'm missing,
Yeah.
you can watch it in your own language.
Yep.
no. Let's just hope the audio on this show turned out so you can hear us, ladies and gentlemen. I gave Guardians of the Galaxy a 4.5. James gave it a 4. Ryan gave it a 4.5. Next week we're doing House Party.
Yep.
with Kid in Play, a group most of you have probably never heard of. And
Probably
we're
not.
also doing...
Ultimate Beastmaster, season 1, episode 7, Beast Mode.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for Jonathan Cherney, James Stevens, and Ryan Preston, as always, thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Thank you.